the question was rhetorical at the time. Still is, without an answer right now. You can answer it either way. But I think we do have an answer to it. And that's with the ultimate of respect to the two teams remaining in the Eastern Conference Finals. Question is this Chris Paul's moment? Is this his time? And it sure looks like it. Because the usual things that have been befalling Chris Paul in his career, 16 years now, right?
16 years, man.
Every single time where it looked like it could be his moment, the basketball gods stepped in and said, no. No. Like Mutombo, right? In a Geico commercial.
No.
Trying to make it current for the kids out there watching on Peacock. And we'll get more kids once Xander returns from camp and starts producing our TikTok page. And number of times where it's just like, yeah, I don't think so, Chris. And it looked like it was going to happen to him again. When he shows up with his shoulder all cupped and bruised and to the Lakers series and taped up, and then he gets hit in that shoulder, and it looks like it looked like maybe we'll learn this after it's all over when he has some sort of procedure or something. I don't know, but
right.
It looked like his shoulder came out of its socket during the first round series against the Lakers, and the Lakers were coming out all full of confidence from the State Farm Playing Tournament. Remember they used to have that? Remember that?
You're obsessed with it.
But it sure looked like, okay, that's great, Chris, because the Lakers have got, LeBron and Anthony Davis, and you're playing with half of your upper body, and that was nice. That was a nice run. The bubble last year with Booker and the bubble squad getting you from Oklahoma City, and that was a great regular season, but that's a wrap. Because that's the usual Chris Paul thing, except that didn't happen.
Yep.
Except that didn't happen. And then we all know Suns in 4. And then after Suns in 4, and now we'll watch the Clippers and Jazz beat each other up while Suns in 4, that's when COVID hits. When he's fully vaccinated, according to all reports, he has not said anything on that subject, if I'm not mistaken. And then he misses the first 2 games of the Western Conference Finals. His first Western Conference Finals, he doesn't play in the first 2 games because he's out with COVID. Well, that's the way that one went, except it didn't. Except he comes back, and his last 2 victories in the series, as a matter of fact, his only 2 victories in the series. This is crazy. These only 2 victories in the series came on the Clippers court. Sorry. But it's kind of wild. It is kind of wild.
Yeah.
They win the first 2 at home without him. Then they lose 1 in Los Angeles, and then they win 1 in Los Angeles, lose the next 1 at home, and then win 1 in Los Angeles. How about that? Chris Paul's 2 wins in the Western Conference Finals happen on the court of the Los Angeles Clippers. His 2 wins, he gives a hug after one and a shout out after the other verbally to Billy Crystal and his wife, calling him family and giving a shout out to all the Clipper fans there last night. And he does it by, look, Jay Crowder had a hell of a game. Hell of a game. Devin Booker is so fun to watch. DeAndre Ayton is fun to watch. Monty Williams is fun to watch him coach. It's great to just watch his demeanor never change and his confidence never waver. And everybody buying what he is selling. It's fun. It's fun. It's what basketball should be about. A team that rises from the ashes in Phoenix, which they have. They were terrible. They were brutal terrible. They were worse than brutal terrible after a while. And then they go to that bubble last year and light it up and just missed the playoffs which is a benefit to them. They didn't have that long slog in the bubble that I think hurt a lot of teams. Clippers were the last one from the bubble last year to survive it this year. And, Paul George, I understand him saying that if Kawhi was there, they would have moved on. And that's easy to say, but also
factual.
I can't sit there and say that. You can't sit here and say that.
I'll say it for you, Rich.
I know you can, and I know you're hurting today. And I
I'll
understand why you would be hurting today, because the Clippers had a team that you could really root for and had a lot of heart and guts and determination and went as far as they've ever gone and gave you reason to hope, certainly when it is a wide open tournament and anybody could win it. Certainly when everybody's dropping like flies physically. And the Suns are the most physically intact team than anybody that's left. Obviously, the Clippers are out, and you take a look at what's going to go down in the Eastern Conference Finals Game 5 tonight. We have no idea. Doubtful. Giannis is doubtful, and we'll see if Trae Young even plays. But you can't discount Chris Paul and this being his moment. Sure feels like it. Sure sees like it. Dropping 31 in the second half for 41 points. He was the one. He was the one left open. He was the running those high pick and rolls that were picking apart the Clippers last night. It doesn't help that, Clippers are leaning on Boogie Cousins and everybody that really wasn't supposed to be leaned on, everyone in different roles. But Chris Paul saw the moment and wasn't going to leave it open to chance in a Game 7 in the ultimate leave it open to chance NBA playoffs we've ever seen, I think. And he lifts the Western Conference Championship trophy in the home of the Clippers, where he won his 2 Western Conference final games. Can't make this stuff up. And the Suns sit back and watch the banged-up Hawks and Bucks play one another. Hopefully for them, for as long as they possibly can keep banging each other up. They host Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Phoenix. Sure feels like it. It's Chris Paul's moment. Good for him, man. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.